Hello, everyone. Oh, there's an echo. I have an echo. You were prepared. I wasn't. All right. Well, now we're getting started. All right. Hi, guys.
We're big hungry.
You don't see me yet?
No.
I see me.
Well, no, I don't. I'm in my list. There we go.
You got it?
There it is. It just
What's up,
wouldn't
Valley
load.
Girl? What's up, MD? Hello, Valkyrie. What's up, Halo Collector? Hi, guys. What's up, Cowman? Bad Frog, thank you, the host. All right. Yeah, we got Mixcast today. All right.
It wasn't my fault
What, that we have Mixcast today?
that we didn't have Mixcast yesterday.
Oh, see,
And
now
it wasn't
now
my
you're just
fault that something didn't get posted in
now you're just changing subjects. Like now it sounds like you want the blame.
But I didn't. It wasn't my fault.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
I'm blaming Bearded.
Apologies for yesterday. I'll go into those details here shortly, but yeah, thanks for joining up for episode 19 of Mixcast. We got some interesting topics for you guys, so we hope you guys jump in some thoughts of your own while we discuss these. Bearded, hello. Dom, hello. All right. Asian, hi. Bad Frog, how was your day?
It was interesting. I got told by my shrink that I need to make some cuts in my lifestyle here. So
I feel like you get told that like every 2 weeks.
yeah, well, I think I'm gonna believe her this time.
You mod for like 40 people.
No, I've got it down to 9 partners and some randoms.
You mod for like 40 people.
I'm trying to cut it back. I can't help myself. I like people. Yep, Valley Girl's one of my randoms.
Hi, I'm a random. Yeah. So, well, I mean, other than your shrink telling you things, how else was your day?
Well, my wife got the box of wine from hell, and it's huge. I couldn't carry it in. I had to make them carry it in.
Box of wine from
Yes.
hell.
Box of wine.
I mean, I know box of wine. I get that.
No,
but
this
from
is a box
hell.
of bottles of wine. The box is.
Oh, it's a
3 foot
box of
wide
bottles of
by-
wine?
Yes.
Oh.
It's like a case of wine.
Oh.
And I don't drink
Interesting.
wine. So that tells
Gotcha.
you something about my wife.
Okay. Oh. All right, Army
Chick is
Chick.
a lush.
What's up, gal? You don't like wine? Oh, I like wine.
I like wine a lot, but I'm not allowed to drink anymore. So
Dom says you can mod for her when she starts streaming. What's up, Winner? What's up, Amberu? Yeah. Let's see. Let's talk about what I went through today. Or actually yesterday. Let's start with yesterday. Yesterday was a normal day at work until a couple hours before work ended. We had one of the heads of Tiny Build randomly announced that it was his last day of work, that he was leaving the company. And he left on good terms. He wanted, so being the head of a publisher means that you don't make video games. You help publish video games. He got into the video game industry to make video games, and he's been doing that for like over, I think it's like 25 years or something like that. And he just decided that he wanted to go back to doing that. So we had some drinks and did that sort of thing, which basically, I wasn't going to drink and then drive. So we drank and we had a lot of food, and then it was pretty late at night that I drove home. I avoided like all the traffic. So yeah, so that's why we missed Mixcast yesterday. Then today, was a lot of catch up because being that he was ahead of the company, a lot of that gets passed around, like his workload gets passed around to a bunch of different people. So we were catching up with some of that. We were prepping for some stuff that's coming up this week, as well as like knowing what's going on for the Christmas holiday. We have a Christmas party on Thursday, so I was cleaning up the office because there's still moving boxes everywhere and everything. And then, lastly, the marketing head of Tiny Build was like, "Let's go ice skating." So Cassie drove down to my work, and we went ice skating, and it was both Cassie and I's first time ever ice skating. It was painful.
Did you see what I said about the skates? That there's really no chance of cutting your fingers off.
Oh my god, those like the blades are like probably half as thick as my iPhone. Like it's like almost like I don't know, a quarter-inch thick. They're huge. They're not a quarter-inch thick, but they're thick. There's
you're
like
not going to cut your fingers off. You may crush your fingers,
yeah.
but you're not going to cut them off.
To be fair, the marketing head of Tiny Build bought her own ice skates, and when you buy your own, they make them as thin as like blades, and hers were pretty thin, so hers would chop off your fingers. But like the rental ones, nah, there's no way in hell you're chopping off fingers. What's up, Omercito? I remember the first time ice skating. Your backside remembers also. I didn't fall once. Cassie fell once. I was just so sore, man. I was so sore. I haven't worked out in a long time. And my feet are killing because it's so like when you're not used to balancing,
it's your ankles.
It's a lot of your feet doing the balancing inside the shoes. So my feet are killing. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was a good time. So
but I got to tell the best story about yesterday that I don't know if Big even knows about yet.
Okay.
And there she is. So I'm sitting in Cassie's stream last night, and she's just doing her thing and being loud, and I'm picking at her like normal. And she said, "Hey, what's on Mixcast tonight?" And I'm like, "What?" I said, "There is no Mixcast tonight." She goes, "Why not?" I said, "Big hasn't talked to you yet?" And she goes, "No."
Literally, I told you. And then that was it. Like, I told you because literally as soon as I told you, I put my phone down and then didn't touch it for like the next 4 hours. So
you can see Cassie trying to text while she's trying to stream to get a hold of Big to see what's going on. It was quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. And she hit it pretty well, but some people got teabagged over that, just letting you know.
Yeah. No, it was like super spur of the moment. Like he announced that he was leaving, and then like it was like all of us trying to figure out what was going on next, and then we went out and got drinks and a whole bunch of stuff. Like it was just nonstop this like from that moment. So it was crazy. So what's up, Jade Fox? I thought you need like a week notice. Generally that's so actually let me put it like this. It was he announced it to everyone else except for the heads of the company. He told the other heads of the company that he was leaving prior. He just didn't want to work with his coworkers in an awkward state, knowing like or having all of us know that he was leaving, and he just wanted everyone to just, you know, treat it like it was another day at work, you know. So he didn't want any negative feelings, he didn't want any awkwardness, nothing like that. So he just wanted it to be regular work schedule. So, which is fair, you know. That is a very fair thing to do. So but yeah. So
but it was funny. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. What's up, Dog God?
And I'll take the blame for not posting in Discord, even though it's not my fault. It's not my Discord.
Usually you're like super active in saying, "Oh, Big is going to be late" or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, he's definitely going to say something if there's no Mixcast at all."
Well,
No,
I figured you'd be in Discord right away. I didn't even pay attention.
no.
And then I find out today that nobody knew. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
no one knew. Everyone thought I was dead. So that happened.
I was surprised you weren't dead because Cassie didn't kill you, but that's completely beside the point.
All right, let's jump into things. Hi, Miss JG. Let's talk about this first subject. You passed this one on to me, and I had no idea what it was. So I have the link up so that way I can show some stuff. But why don't you start it off?
Okay, I guess it's a Google company. I think Holo had a Facebook thing that I couldn't look at, so I had to look it up myself. But it's called Soli. It's a touchless chip that uses radio waves that they can put in. It's a little tiny. You could put it in almost anything: a phone, a smartwatch, and it reads your finger gestures. There's a video that goes along that shows you a bunch of this stuff, but it's really cool because it can almost see through. Yeah, that's what you posted the Facebook link, and I found the link to the real thing because I couldn't look at the Facebook link. But it's absolutely fascinating to see what it'll do. And in the link that I've got, I'll put in Mixcast. It shows you all the stuff they went through to get to the point of having a chip this big.
Yeah,
and it's insane what they went through. But this is like a 4-minute video on here. It kind of shows you what it does, or you can go through look at that. But
I'm gonna show the video too. But I just thought I'd give an example.
You can see how it transfers what your fingers and hands are doing into radio waves of some kind, and of course they translate that into real world stuff where you don't even have to touch the device. It's I think the next one down is that shows you how big the thing is. It's not big at all. Yeah,
so for those who are listening to audio,
I keep forgetting about that.
It's approximate like the size of maybe literally a quarter of a quarter. Like the coin a quarter, like a $quarter. It's probably the size of a dime. Yeah.
Yep, that's a good one. Yeah, the next one down is the cool one there. Oh, did you get past it? You must have gone past it, the virtual tool gestures.
I'm trying to find the video itself. But
the video's all the way at the top. Oh, it's not showing it on yours. But it shows how you can press. Okay.
Oh, it just goes back to slider.
Yeah. But you can push buttons with it just by doing this. You can turn dials. Oops. By just moving your fingers like this. It's really nice how it would work. I can see how it'd be nice on a smartwatch because the buttons on that thing are just microscopic anyway. But this is kind of the
you want to play with audio?
Yeah, the audio is pretty good.
How can we take this incredible capability, finesse of human actions, and finesse of using our hand, but apply it to the virtual world?
It's a little long, but
yeah, it's a little long, but we'll get into the
radio frequency spectrum, which is radars, to track human hands.
But that's the chip right there. He's going over.
The radars has been used for many different things to track cars,
that's good. That's a
objects,
good point, Jade.
Satellites and planes.
Perfect for people with
using them to track micro motions, twitches of human hands, and then use that to interact with wearables and Internet of Things and other computing devices.
It's pretty amazing.
Change the dials.
Our team is focused on taking radar hardware and turning it into a gesture sensor. Radar is a technology which transmits a radio wave towards a target, and then the receiver of the radar intercepts the reflected energy from that target. The reason why we're able to interpret so much from this one radar signal is because of the full gesture recognition pipeline that we've built. The various stages of this pipeline are designed to extract specific gesture information from this one radar signal that we receive at a high frame rate.
From these strange foreign range Doppler signals, we're actually interpreting human intent. Radar has some unique properties when compared to cameras, for example. It has very high positional accuracy, which means that you can sense the tiniest motions.
We arrived at this idea of virtual tools because we recognized that there's certain archetypes of controls, like a volume knob or a physical slider, a volume slider.
I'll have
Imagine
to
a
read that
button
when we get
between your
done.
thumb and your index finger. And
There's the button
the
push.
button's not there, but pressing this is a very clear action, and there's a natural physical haptic feedback that occurs as you perform that action. The hand
It's
can both
really
embody
cool.
that virtual tool, and it can also
And this would be moving across a
acting on that
page
virtual
or
tool at the same time. So if we can
anything
recognize
that
that
would be in the
action,
virtual space.
we have an interesting direction for interacting with technology.
So when we started this project, me and my team, we looked at the project idea and we thought, are we going to make it or not? We don't know. But we have to do it. Because unless you do it, you don't know.
And what I think I'm most
That's
proud
Gen
of
1
about
of this
our
chip.
project is we have pushed the processing
And there's the
power of the
final
electronics
version.
itself further out to do
That's
the sensing part
crazy.
for us.
The radar has a properties which no other technology has. It can work through materials, can embed it into the objects. It allows to track really precise motions. And what is most exciting about it is that you can shrink the entire radar and put in a tiny chip. That's what makes this approach so promising. It's extremely reliable. There's nothing to break. There's no moving parts. There's no lenses. There's nothing. It's just a piece of sand on your board.
Now we're at a point where we have the hardware where we can sense these interactions and we can put them to work. We can explore how well they work and how well they might work in products.
Blows your mind usually when you see things people do. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to releasing this to the development community. And I really want them to be excited and motivated to do something cool with it, right?
So yeah,
That's
we wanted to show the video because the video is going to be able to explain it a lot in more depth than we would be able to. So now some of these might actually make more sense on what they're doing. So yeah, the fact of the matter is, like, we're gonna be able to. So if you look at my microphone right here, sorry for audio people, but I have knobs here, right? Those knobs, I don't know what they are unless I'm physically looking at them. However, if it had radar technology to be able to do that, and I could adjust volume by just doing this above the microphone, I'd be able to know exactly what I'm doing without physically having to, like, go underneath the microphone to look at which knob I'm changing, because these, I have no idea what they do unless I go underneath and look at them. Being able to change things along that line, especially with, like, think about it this way. How many of you hate changing the brightness and contrast and all of that stuff on your TVs and your monitors and switching between inputs, all of that stuff? It's so annoying. But if you had that chip in your monitor, and you're sitting at a reasonable distance, I reach up to my monitor and just go like this, button clicks, switching between tabs, go to contrast, turn it up, things along that line. The easeability of being able to do those things becomes amazing. It makes life simpler. It's a matter of incorporating that technology into other technology. So it's dependent on the money, right? Technology, or these companies like Microsoft and IBM and Samsung, those guys aren't going to do it unless it's cheap enough, which is fine because technology gets cheaper the more it gets used.
Yep.
But they also need to, like, see how far this can go, and these guys are doing it, man. Like, just showing you, like, granted, all this could be, someone made it in Premiere, right? Someone could have said, oh, let's draw a little picture with a volume knob rising. people won't believe it until they can use it. So putting that in markets, if you put that in monitors today, people will see how much easier it is to do that thing. And teaching the public how to do these things wouldn't be that difficult. So it's really neat.
Halo said they probably could be behind any OLED or LED screens out there. That's the beauty of it, is they can be put behind almost any material and still work.
And because it's so small too.
Yeah, it's going to fit on the... As things shrink, you're going to gain more space inside these phones. Phones have gotten small as they're going to get. They're actually getting bigger again because people want that screen space on their phone to use. That's why the iPhone finally gave up and said, look, we need to produce bigger screens because Samsung is killing us. So it's actually more space on the circuit board now than there used to be. So, yeah, I know. And phones to your head caused brain tumors, but
yeah. So, like Halo Collector said, the kickback is a conspiracy. People are saying that tech is too much radiation, and there is very small trace amounts of it. However, you're talking about microscopic amounts, stuff that doesn't affect a human. You're talking like you'd have to have thousands of phones glued to your head, that are constantly
for thousands
running.
of years.
It's just, you're talking about so little, and technology such as this, where you're seeing radar waves, which can cause issues, but like a tiny little amount like that does not affect. So it's crazy. It'll be really neat to see if they start implementing these tiny little chips into our daily stuff, phones, headsets. Think about it this way, right? Those AirPods, the new iPhone earbuds that you just stick in your ear, right? If you're able to just do this for volume adjustment, click without actually having to touch the AirPod to change songs, things along that line, hang up phone calls, things along that line will create easier functionality in people's lives. So it's crazy to see these things as they're popping up.
If you don't mind, pop that back up there for a second and scroll down. I just because I'm such a geek, I want people to see this. Go down to where they have the generations of what they went through here. It's just a little bit further.
Gesture?
Yep, that right there.
Oh, okay.
The generations. This is how most electronics are done in the first place. They start with what's on the left, which is all off-the-shelf parts. It's all handmade.
Yeah.
And they make sure it works. And then they start making things smaller and smaller and smaller until you get to the bottom right, which is the chip.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they started with that big box of components. And they said it was a lot of fans in there too, by the way, to a little chip that doesn't produce near the heat that big box of stuff did.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I took a robotics class in college, and I mean, I worked with all this stuff here on the left, all these circuit boards and wires running everywhere. And it's amazing to think that technology gets so small to the point where, I mean, the box that this chip is in is like 50 times the size of the chip itself. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's really neat to see stuff like this become a reality. And I hope that we start seeing projects like this appear in our manufacturer like retail life, So
yeah,
we'll
and Jade Fox said, and this is cool, I would think, they're working on a similar chip for glaucoma patients to adjust eye pressure and so forth.
Yeah.
That would be way cool to just kind of twist a dial up in front of your eye like that to adjust that stuff.
It would be really cool, especially for like glasses. Think about it. If you have a pair of glasses and you're trying to adjust your like prescription, right, to see different depths along that line, or think about like things like this, your sunglasses, right? Sometimes people aren't wanting their prescription sunglasses to keep having to change them between their sunglasses and their regular reading glasses. A knob to to adjust tint on your sunglasses, right? Or on your glasses to turn them into sunglasses, different depths of tint. So, Austin from Player, thank you for the follow.
And Cal, man, everything has radiation, but not enough to ruin us as a whole. You don't know how freaky paranoid people are when
crazy.
You mention. I mean, for the longest time, and you still see the signs up on gas pumps. Don't be on your phone on the gas pump. Could cause explosion. No chance.
Yeah. The only people who are experiencing this radiation that's going to be hurting you is sun tanning and cancer patients. Those are literally the only like. I mean, there might be other rare cases, scientists that are studying things along this line, but like, you're talking about crazy amounts of radiation. And like I said, sun tanning, like sitting in those beds, and like if you're laying out on the beach hours on end, week by week, and yeah, like what I was saying before, is cancer patients go through a lot of chemotherapy and radiation and things along that line, and that's a lot. And the trade is that if you have cancer, which is practically untreatable as of right now, radiating to kill the virus is like it's a trade. You're exposing yourself to crazy amounts of radiation in hopes that you're going to cure the cancer, and it works sometimes. You see people get out of it, whether it's temporary or final. It works, but it just depends on what you're trading. Sometimes people walk away scot-free, sometimes you don't, and the hope is that you do, until we can find out the surefire way to do it, to save our friends and family who suffer from things along that line, without having to put them in things like unfortunate circumstances like that. So
I want to know, what do you mean flat earth people is proof that there's crazy people? The earth is flat, you fool.
Valkyrie says, in medical buildings, we still have signs that say microwaves in use. So yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like scientists are studying different solves in the medical studies, or even in things like this. These guys are playing with different amounts of radiation. It's possible that they might be overexposing themselves, but chances are, in a project like this, they're not even close. Dentistry uses x-rays, right? You're doing that sort of thing, but like it's just so rare to expose yourself to stuff like that. Azian said you'd have to be directly contact with it for a long time or amount to be affected. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so rare. It's so rare.
Yeah, I like to use the example. I don't know how many people here actually remember the big Alar scare with apples.
No.
Some time ago, there was a product they used to put on apples that would keep them red for a longer amount of time. It was called Alar. Well, they decided it was it was cancer causing. All it was a kind of preservative. They decided it was cancer causing, so it had to be removed for the market. Well, come to find out, the data said you'd have to eat like 4 pounds of apples a day for 20 years to even have a snowball's chance of getting cancer.
Oh my God.
So that's how lunacy we are about.
I mean, but everything causes cancer nowadays,
so you'd been dead from eating that many apples long before cancer could have taken you over.
Dude, it's just crazy. Everything on the shelf causes cancer nowadays. It's ridiculous. The things that you really have to worry about are these, testing products that they throw on a shelf that you've never heard from a company before and has no reviews. that's the stuff you should fear, and you're probably not getting cancer, you're probably getting poisoned. And then, like, you know, it's just such random nonsense to hear that, oh, this is a dangerous product for you. You know, you're gonna get like some random disease. Like, it's so odd. Just there's scientific processes and government agencies that prevent this stuff. You know, like you have the health and food industries, and all these stuff needs certification, especially nowadays. I mean, prior you would have, like, what was it, popcorn ceilings or whatever had asbestos in it, right? And that was a problem, but that's before we were testing all that stuff. And like lead paint, yeah, you can't eat lead paint, you know. but like, this is before we were doing all of this. Now we're so backed behind a safety curtain that it's so rare, you know. And you know, no one wants to be the first, you know, patient zero to find something, but it's so rare, man.
Bearded Valkyrie's got one that I get a kick of every time I go in a hospital. In medical buildings, we still have to have signs that say microwaves in use.
Yeah.
I laugh and giggle every time I see that, because there is zero danger from a microwave in this day and age. Maybe when they first made them, maybe.
Well, it depends
no
on,
chance
like,
now.
it just depends on what their definition of microwave. Like, if it's like a kitchen microwave, or because the reason why we call microwaves is because they use microwaves. That's what it is. That's the term of the waves that it's being used. If you get exposed directly to microwaves and a good amount of them, yes, you're gonna have, like, you could potentially have problems.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to stand in front of a microwave relay tower, which is way up in the air to start with, for a very long time.
Well, but so in medical buildings, so that technology is not up in the air, you know. But you're still absolutely right. You're having to stand directly. It's like, you know, you're like when you're getting X-rays, you can be in the room as X-rays so long as you're not inside the equipment, type of deal, you know, like. There's so much, like, safety behind everything. How's it going, Judged?
And don't tell me the Earth is not flat, Calman. It says on the map, monsters be here. So, I'm just telling you, the Earth is flat.
If you ate a banana every day for a year, you'd consume about 2.6 dose of radiation. I don't know. I'd have to look into that one. I don't even know what that means. Let's see. The Earth is indeed flat, says Not Your Friend.
If you put a glass ball on the ground, it won't move. It's flat. It's flat.
Winner, thank you for the follow. Okay.
Don't challenge my science.
Next topic. Or here, hold on. Jade Fox says, I've been taking 100 milligrams of radiation weekly for 9 years. We will be okay. Thank you. If there's one person in this room, which I wasn't going to point out unless she wanted to say something herself, there's one person in this room who's being exposed to radiation, it's Jade Fox. Jade Fox is one of the strongest people out there, and she's been going through a lot, and, you know, like, there's no one has to fear anything other than her, because she's putting herself through a lot. So, but yeah, so, military, we are not going into the discussion of birds aren't real.
They're not drones. And just so you know, South Park is not real. You can't put your stuff up by the microwave and get cancer that will make your package a bouncy ball. So I'm just letting you know that doesn't work.
All right. Let's talk about this real quick. This is a really quick topic, but it's very relevant to what we were talking last week about virtual reality headsets and augmented reality headsets. $400K, like $400,000 F35 helmets, and F35 is a fighter pilot, or is a fighter plane. So for the pilots themselves. And it's absolutely, in quotes, absolutely worth the money.
Well, the way they justify that is they don't need a heads-up display. They don't need an extra set of night vision goggles. Plus, the pilot can see all the infrared sensors, or see through all the infrared sensors and the cameras that are on the plane itself. So there is no blind spot, basically, for a pilot in the plane now, because they can see everywhere around the plane. It's pretty amazing, but I don't know that $400,000 covers the cost of all that, but it is amazing.
So I'm gonna read some of the details on this. Let's see. I just wanna I wanna read the like specs. There's no heads-up display that has to be purchased. There's no night vision goggles. The pilots have to interchange, and it can be used in the simulator, so they don't have to purchase a separate one. Let's see. The helmet can utilize the 6 infrared cameras on the jet, which feed displayed to the pilot inside the visor, allowing them to look through the bottom of the cockpit. It gives the pilot unparalleled situational awareness by taking out the aircraft as they are looking around. So, like, if you look down, it's actually just showing you what's underneath the plane because of all the cameras that are being placed on this plane. Because these planes, being fighter pilots, they're trained to, or they're built to be aware of attacking units. Like if a unit is being attacked or if they are attacking, they need to be able to know what's around them, what's coming at them, what they're going up towards, things along that line. So yeah, it allows for a lot of different things to be interacted with these planes. The helmets are custom made for each pilot, so very like the suit of armor that I designed for the military. When I was designing armor, the armor that we were building was actually made per military unit. So like, you know, Bad Frog. If Bad Frog and I were like same height, same weight, everything like that, we still wouldn't share the same suit. Because it would affect muscle tone, any sort of, you know, like if my right arm was longer than my left arm type of deal, like anything along that line. Yeah, so these are custom fit to each pilot individually. There was a little bit more of information that I wanted to place, but can't find exactly where it was.
Well, Halo Collector says, yeah, but a lot of pilots hate to use them. Maybe it's a learning curve or just getting used to them. It's both. And what these are coming out for is the F35, which just from the little bit I learned when my dad was in the Air Force, he flew. It's much easier to put newer pilots into newer planes than it is to take older pilots and stick them into newer planes, because they've got such a routine. It's hard for them to take that all that VR stuff, which you can train a younger pilot. This is just the way it is, and that's the way they're going to learn.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is, but it's going to be with older pilots. They're going to have the harder time adjusting, which is why they don't do it.
That fits like exactly what I was doing with the military as well. Is like, the reason that I was building this armor set for these people is because they can already go out into war and be perfectly fine with what they've got. My job was to build them armor that they wanted to wear, because they didn't have to wear it if they didn't want to. Like, I would literally build a $5 million suit for one person, and if they didn't want to wear it, they wouldn't, and they wouldn't be required to. You have to build something that these people want to use. And actually, this is the part of information I was looking to find. The helmet provides pilot flying the multi-million-pound jet with information on airspeed, altitude, targeting information, and all other warnings, all inside the visor. So similar to the virtual reality and augmented reality that we were talking about last week, all this information is able to be brought up on your visor, and I'm sure it might be able to be done with hand movements. So kind of intertwining with Project Soli, which we just got done talking about, reaching out and doing, like, manipulating screens just by hand movements and gestures and things along that line. So I don't know if that works directly with this, but I guarantee you for most successful operation, that's what they would end up doing. So exactly. It is a heads-up display, a HUD. Yes.
And it does get rid of that heads-up display inside the cockpit itself because it's right there on their face. So,
Pido, thank you to follow.
They don't have to look so far to see what's going on because you've got all these dials and everything else. If it's right in front of your face, you can concentrate on what you're doing and kind of keep track of all that stuff just out of the corner of your eye or whatever it is, instead of looking around at a panel of gauges or anything else.
That's why video gamers are on the next generation of soldiers and drone pilots. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, cool little topic that we wanted to bring up. We knew that we didn't have a lot to say on it, but in case you guys had any information that you wanted to put in on this, or, you know, if you're interested in planes or military stuff, cool little bit of information.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, and it was directly related to what we were talking about last week, as well as Project Soli, if it comes to the part where you could do hand gestures. So that's why we also threw it in there. So
yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. Is it was directly related to the Army thing with Microsoft. So
yeah,
and I don't know, this tech stuff is just really cool to me. I may be old, but I can still enjoy it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like, and plus staying up to date on things like that and not letting things get ahead of you is always really, for me, it's important being able to do those things. And, you know, you don't feel like you got lost because you missed a generation, you know?
That was a bird, not a drone.
That was a penguin. I think it was sliding around. It's a penguin. Drone.
Still a bird.
They added a lot of new stuff. It seems like every time I do a Mixcast, I'm always surprised of what Mixer has just added. Oh my god, it's all Christmas stuff, that's why. The leg lamp.
Of course it is.
No worries, British Shares.
Well.
Alright, let's see. Third topic of Mixcast comes here in a second. We're gonna do this. Mixcast does a giveaway once a month. This month we're giving away a $50 Xbox Live gift card. If you would like a chance to win that $50 Xbox Live gift card, you can win it just by typing !Mixcast in the chat. You'll get provided a link where you can follow us on social medias and anything along that line. You also have a spot to enter in a secret code. You can enter in that secret code right here. The secret code this week is gift card. Goodbye, AZN.
Thanks, AZN, for helping with that. That was AZN's topic, by the way.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, AZN. Yeah, !Mixcast will provide you a link in the chat where you can click that link on PC, tablet, or mobile and enter in the code gift card with no spaces. Capitalization does not matter. Every episode there is a new code. Go back and watch any previous episode or listen to them on YouTube, Podbean, Acast, and iTunes.
iTunes.
Yeah.
So happy.
It's pretty cool. If you're interested in listening to that stuff, please make sure you follow us on those platforms.
Thank you.
And yeah, good luck, guys. Enter the contest, and don't forget to get your code each day of the week that we do Mixcast. We're probably doing the Mixcast makeup session for yesterday on Saturday. We will see. If there is no makeup session, then we will just provide you with an extra code next week. But for right now, we are scheduled to make up yesterday's on Saturday. So yeah, we have a bunch of dedicated codes, and we'll hand those out to you as we do more Mixcast episodes. If you're listening to audio and this is your first time ever listening to Mixcast, the link is player.gg, and players without an E. So it's playr.gg/BigHungry2X/Mixcast December. So yeah, good luck everyone. Go enter in gift card for the code, and maybe you'll win $50 for Xbox. All right. What's up, Lady Raven? All right. Last topic: buying versus building a new PC. I'm curious. How many people in the chat have either a gaming PC or a gaming laptop of any kind? You know, like, I don't mean like, oh, I have a MacBook Pro. That's not a gaming PC.
I have both.
Okay. You have a gaming PC and a gaming laptop? Bedfrog?
Well, I've got a MacBook Pro and a gaming laptop, and
Gotcha.
I think I got a non-gaming laptop around here somewhere.
Gotcha. Okay.
I like laptops.
Gotcha. What do you have, Jade Fox? A gaming laptop? What about you, Amber? Air your bike. Hi. Master DPM says, I don't, cause the struggle is real. I get it, man. You could buy one piece at a time, though. Hill Collector says he needs a new gaming PC. Jade Fox and Amberu both have gaming PCs. Did you buy pre-built or did you build it custom? Because that's what this whole topic is about. What's up, Judged? You built it. Okay. Did you build it yourself? You built it custom too? Nice. So yeah, topic of discussion, building versus buying a new PC. Some people will just automatically go to buying a pre-built PC because they don't know how to build a PC. Oh, man.
Don't start that.
That snuck up on me, like, out of nowhere. Some people don't know how to build a PC, and it's not very hard at all. And some people just don't have the time to build the PC, so they just buy it pre-built. So don't you get on that with me, Panic. Panic says I'd rather just visit a LAN center. You need to remind me to tell you stuff, Panic, in Discord. But yeah, building a PC. So some people will go to buy a pre-built PC, and there's such repercussions to that. If you buy a pre-built PC, the first of the matter is you're not buying what you want unless you're buying something ridiculously over what you wanted. So, like, you'll get what you want, but you're getting a lot more than what you wanted. Otherwise,
you're getting a lot of useless programs to start with.
Well,
you get a lot of bloatware.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm thinking, like, you know.
Well, no, if you say you wanted 64 gigabytes of RAM, chances are you're going to have a way overbuilt computer to get 64 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah. So it's all dependent. So, like, let's say you go to Best Buy. You say, I want a gaming laptop that's capable of running 4K. You know, they might say, you know, this is your gaming laptop that supports 4K, but if you want it to run a little better, get this. And they're not, like, yes, they're trying to oversell you, right? But at the same time, what you're getting is, like, let's say you only need 720p, 60 frames per second, you know, 8 gigabytes of RAM. But let's say you wanted 16 gigabytes of RAM and, like, the rest to be the same. Chances are you're not finding a computer that has exactly the same specs, but 16 gigabytes of RAM. You're finding 16 gigabytes of RAM and a better processor and a better motherboard and all this stuff, and it's like, you just spent way more than what you probably needed to spend.
Now, I lucked out with this laptop, to be quite honest with you, because it was exactly what I wanted. It had an Intel, I can't remember if it's a 77 or 8700 series. It's got a 1060 video card with 6 gigabytes of RAM. And it's got 16 gigabytes of RAM on the board.
Yeah.
There's not much I can't do with that. So
the only downside to like gaming laptops is that graphics cards and video your CPU and your GPU are laptop based GPUs and CPUs, meaning that they do generally less processing than your tower, you know.
well,
They're
they have
built
to. They can't keep up with the heat.
right. They're built to run at a lower pace because they're in such a tiny machine. That's why when you look at PCs and they're big, you're like, "Oh, that thing is huge." Well, they're big for a reason. They need air. They need the space between the parts. And laptops are, you know, just a tiny little board. So it's a little different. What kind of PC do you have big? I custom built mine. I actually custom built mine for home and for work. And at work they just wanted to buy pre-built, but
Gloomy custom built his one at home.
that's true. Gloomy, well, kind of. Gloomy built my original one and it arrived broken, so I practically had to start over. So yeah. So I pre-built mine. And you
I
saved
used to
so
always
much
pre-built mine. This is the first time I can remember in a long time I haven't had my own built PC of my own.
Yeah.
The last one I had when I moved here, it broke during transit, and that's the last one I'm buying.
You save so much money too. It's like pre-built PCs, you're practically spending $300 because someone else made it. Plus, they probably charge you about 5 to 10% fee for all of the parts. So, like let's say like a $300 GPU, they're probably charging you probably $350 for that GPU, just because, you know, they bought it, not you. So, it's crazy to see how much is overcharged when you're buying a pre-built. Jade Fox says, "Oh, go ahead."
A pre-built version of my laptop would have been $300 cheaper. So, I mean, that's the difference you have to pay for a laptop to start with.
Yeah. So, let's see.
Jade Fox.
Yeah, but there was actually a message about that. So let's see. It's Amberu said, "When you build, you know exactly what is in it, and upgrading parts over time is so much easier." Yes, but you only get manufacturer's warranty, which can be good and bad. If you know that nothing is going to happen to your PC because it's literally not going to move other than sitting on the floor, sitting on the shelf, wherever you're keeping it, you should have no problems. A manufacturer warranty, however, is only going to last you a certain amount of time. After that, if it dies, you're pretty much screwed. Where like a pre-built, you can get like extended warranties on the whole thing for like 5+ years or something. But by that time, the pieces are old, so you might want to just upgrade anyway. So it's interesting to see the pros and cons.
And you can only upgrade to a certain point anyway, because as they change the chips, they change the sockets.
Yes and no. RAM
And
cards cards will usually fit no matter what.
I'm talking about CPUs.
Yeah, your CPU most likely will not fit in the next generation of motherboards. So
a 5-year-old board will not run with current CPUs, almost guaranteed. So
that is and when you're replacing the motherboard, other than your RAM, you're pretty much gonna have to replace everything else. So you'll start running into a lot of problems like that. But like, let's say new graphics card comes out. I run a 1070 right now. At work, I run a 1070 Ti. I mean, the new 2070s just came out and all that stuff, but it's so expensive. It was like $2,000. But when that stuff starts getting cheaper, you start bringing in that stuff into your PC, and it'll have no problem right now. It's not until like the next generation of stuff where it's not going to fit, and you have to get the new motherboards. So,
and let's be honest, the 1080 Ti is going to be more than you need for a couple of years.
Oh yeah. My PC, I could upgrade to a 1080 or a 1080 Ti in mine in the next couple of years, but it's not needed. My work computer, I won't have to replace for a while.
Well, that's why your stuff keeps crashing, Valley Girl.
Uh-oh.
She has the worst luck with her internet. It's horrible.
Jade Fox says, building custom is cheaper than buying all the stuff on the shelf. You get exactly what you want. Yep. And she built off of CyberPower PC. We will jump on CyberPower PC here soon. A lot of people don't know how to optimize their PC component purchases. That's true. A lot of components such as TI and things along that line allow for pushing your computer past the point where it's supposed to run, but you're not breaking it. You're just slightly degrading it over time. But like that slight is like it takes 3 to 5 years for you to start seeing issues.
Yeah, but you're also generating a lot more heat exponentially as you overclock.
Yeah, so that's called overclocking. You will need more powerful power supply units, and like first, like your motherboard's got to be able to support things along that line, and you might start running into issues like that. No worries, MD. Take care, dude. Let's see. What's up, Zippier? What kind of CPU do you have, and what kind of GPU? I actually brought the list out recently. Oh, it's in Discord. I run, my GPU is a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070, and my CPU, I'm trying to remember the exact one. I don't remember the exact one. That one I can send to you in a private message. I can't remember the exact one that I bought. I'd have to go back and look it up. Because you don't see the CPU in the computer, right? I have my cooler on top of it, so I can't physically see it.
You can pull it up in system if you want, but
that's true. You could do that.
Actually, yeah, mine's an 8750 is what my processor is. I just pulled that up. It doesn't tell me what my GPU is, but I know it's a 1060. So
I run an Intel Core i7 8700 CPU, 3.2 gigahertz. Yeah, and I have 16 gigs of RAM. So, yeah, so it's an Intel i7 8700. So,
well, where my Intel 8750 is running at 2.2 gigahertz. That would be the difference because it's in a laptop.
Yeah. So I run at a higher, like a stronger power rate. You know, mine is able to pump out a lot more data than yours is going to be able to in a shorter amount of time. So, yeah. Let's see. Halo Collector said there's a lot of bottlenecking and people can overspend on bigger numbers than what they need them or will help them. Yeah, and that's exactly what I was explaining before. Your administrative costs, you know, setting up that PC is so hard, guys. You know, installing that OS, you know, plug that flash drive in, that's another $10. You know, having to wait, you know, 3 hours for your OS to install and click a couple of buttons here and there. That's another $50. It's like they get you on this stuff, man. It's so easy to set it all up, and they charge you crazy amounts. What's up, Pickle Rick? Shipping, handling, and convenience fees. Yep, it's all there. Your gaming laptop was $650. Wait, like $650, or you were running like a GTX 650 or something? Let's see.
Jade Fox says she's got an AMD processor, and they do. They work just as well as Intel's. I just don't know the AMDs, although I heard that the new Threadripper is something else. But
I've heard of that, but I don't know what that is just off the bat.
That's the new gen of the AMD stuff. and it's supposed to be a beast.
Really? Okay. I think I'll always stay Intel. Intel is just they're Intel for a reason. So, but AMD is an amazing competitor. So Valley Girl bought an iBuyPower Intel Core i7, 16 gigs of memory, GeForce GTX 1060, 1 terabyte hard drive, one 20 gigabyte solid state drive. It's good computer. Just used it for streaming. My crashes are my crappy internet. I mean, it sounds like a great computer. Well, 1 terabyte hard drive is my fear. I don't buy hard drives. I buy solid states every time. I have a 1 terabyte solid state that I'm looking at, which is expensive, but
well, as the prices come down, that'll change. But you can get mechanical drives so cheap now.
I know, but the reason they're cheap is because they break, man. They're
I've lost one mechanical drive in 6 years.
I bought, like, Western Digital is like the devil, I swear.
Well, there's your first problem.
Well, but it doesn't even matter to me. I just won't go back. I literally bought 3. I bought one WD HDD. It was a 500 gig. This was a few years ago. 500 gig. Died. Bought one. Literally bought a replacement. Literally within a week, it was dead. Bought another one. Within a week, it was dead. Like, I'm just done with mechanical. No, it wasn't even dropping them. I actually ended up turning them into sculptures during my my welding class in college when I was learning to weld. I took a welding artistic class. And so we took, like, ordinary objects. So I took computer parts because I kept having Western Digital hard drives die on me. I'd tear them apart into pieces and build sculptures out of them. So,
Syndicate says, are HDD and SDD interchangeable? Yes.
Yes.
It uses the same power, same connection.
Yep.
It's plug and play.
I don't think it's the same connection, but they have interchangeable cords. But yeah. Let's see.
Oh, there's an adapter for it. No?
Yeah. It should be.
They use the same ones now. They don't use the old IDE stuff anymore.
Well, in any case, even if it's not, there's adapters. And Iowa says they really borked the Spark payouts. I honestly haven't even looked yet. I will be looking soon, though. Winner says, what does a 120 gigabyte SSD go for? Depends on the brand, but, I mean, SSDs are expensive.
Well, the smaller ones are pretty cheap now. I paid through the nose to get I got a 60, I think, many years ago, and I paid through the nose for that just so I could have it boot my Windows drive.
Yeah.
And that was its only purpose in life was to boot Windows. And it was nice, but it was really expensive.
Kingston 120 gigabyte SATA 3 2.5 inch solid state drive is $26. You're right. The cheaper ones are the smaller ones are cheap. But let's say you go for a 1 terabyte.
Oh, they're pricey.
1 terabyte SSD. So 1 terabyte. Actually, that's not a bad deal at all. Samsung has one on sale for $50 off. $150 for a 1 terabyte.
Oh, wow.
That's not bad at all.
That's not horrible at all.
Yeah. And then you have, like,
laptop size.
You have odd brands that I would never buy from. Like, there's Crucial, which
never buy their memory, by the way.
Western Digital, trash.
I know what I'm getting big for Christmas now.
Yeah. Throw it right in the trash can.
A Western Digital mechanical drive.
But yeah, just be safe in what you're buying. Xbox uses
talk to
AMD,
somebody.
correct? They do. Xbox does use AMD. However, there was a piece of technology that came out from Intel this past year that is making it that made it really tempting for Xboxes and PlayStations to want to use Intel products for their next consoles. We'll see, because AMD is really good about like jumping back into things very quickly. That might be a discussion for an upcoming Mixcast to talk about what potentially could go in the next consoles.
Is a good one. I'd like to have to dig up some information. But Halo Collector has found the connection. He says, "Oh, I see the connection. Flat Earth, spinning flat disk hard drive. See, it's all flat.
It's all flat.
It's all flat."
Spent $1,100 at Best Buy and picked it up. No shipping, Valley Girl. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm surprised more solid state stuff hadn't come in. My previous job working on bowling pin setters, I don't know if you've seen those old mechanical switches for turning a motor on and off. It's an actual, you apply power and it has a magnet and draws it down to make the connection. It's a mechanical switch.
Yeah.
All bowling equipment has that through all through the stuff.
Interesting.
And they make solid state stuff, but nobody will go to it. It makes no sense to me because they're terrified of it. So there's a lot of that going on too, where people are just, I'm not changing. So
interesting. Also, you like, if you, being that you worked at bowling alleys, you'll know this, but any that bowling alley equipment that you see, like that sets up all the pins and stuff, and depending on how many lanes and feeds the ball back and all that stuff, generally that equipment, depending on the size of the bowling alley, can run up to like $1.5 million.
$20,000 a lane at the cheapest.
Yeah, it's I mean, 20,000 is cheap, man.
That's not with a scoring system.
Yeah, it gets really expensive. Yeah, especially the older they are. The older they are, the more expensive they were. And man, that's why some of them won't change, because they invested so much money into it that they don't want to just get rid of it. So
you can't. I mean, it's impossible, because they're even now there's still a lot of it's mechanical,
and no one will buy that stuff off of you either. They'll buy new. They won't buy any of your old stuff off of you. So you just can't get. You literally will throw it away. It's throwing away $1 million. It just doesn't happen.
They'll auction it, and you'll end up like the place I worked, where we had a big barn out in the back, and we had pieces that you would never replace on one of those machines sitting back there, because they don't get wear and they don't break, but they had them because they had to buy them with all the other pieces that they really wanted. So it's crazy.
Halo Collector says next to the lanes we'll just have robots behind the curtains. It'll be like Amazon, you know? Have you seen those videos of Amazon robots going down the lanes, picking out the packages and just putting them in their basket and stuff, and they literally will like assemble all of Amazon shipping to make it faster, because they're faster than humans. Because it's
that's why my stuff is all hosed up.
It literally goes through a process where when the purchase is made, it goes down the line, reaches up, grabs it, puts it in a box. Like, it's all automated. The only human part of it is retrieving that and putting it in the right trucks and having it delivered. Things along that line. The stuff where, like, you know, the trucks might be going out to different places each day or something. But yeah, grabbing the item and putting it in the box is a lot of it is that's robotic now. Speaking of, though, literally ordered 5 monitors from Amazon for work. We ordered 5. It was crazy. 3 of them were in a single box. They put 3 monitors in a box and then shipped it. And there was no packaging. No packaging. Like, it was like it was a monitor box, and a monitor box. Inside of a bigger box, there was literally no packaging. And one of them, like, I have a picture of it. We're returning it because it was bad. What?
Oh, and my wife wanted you to know she only bought 18 bottles of wine.
That's it? Oh, okay.
Whatever, 15, 18, it's a teen.
Tell her she's slacking. All right. Right here.
Well,
That's
that
how
looks
it
a little
arrived.
damaged to start with.
That's how it arrived. And then I opened it up. I was like, well, I might as well see if it's working. Opened it up. There's like a tiny little ding in the top of the screen. I was like, all right, let's plug it in, see if anything's wrong. Sure enough, that's it on. So I was like, okay, returned. So, luckily Amazon is like the best with returns. Super automated. You know, I took that picture before I opened the box, so I have proof it arrived wrecked. And you literally just say, I would like my item replaced, so it's going to be 2-day delivery. They're picking up the broken one tomorrow at no cost. You literally just put it back in the box that it came in, leave it at the front door. They will grab it and walk away with it. It's the best. I love it. But yeah, it's 4 out of 5 monitors made it. But like, actually, let me go back to that front picture. This is, imagine, you see how there's 3 boxes of monitors there? Imagine just a bigger box around those and no packaging. That was it. That's how it was shipped. I was like, how? How does this make it out the door? You take anything to UPS, they're like, we're going to have to inspect your package, sir, and make sure that you packaged it correctly, or else you're not getting a refund if anything arrives broken. I'm like, guys, I think I know how to package a package, but if you look at Amazon, clearly they don't. So, it's crazy. So, but yeah, that was my experience with buying monitors and shipping. I don't even know how we got on that subject because we were talking about building a new PC.
But what it boils down to is before you go buy a PC, if you have zero knowledge, do not let the Best Buy guy be your knowledge base.
Seriously, grab another nerd on the internet and let them tell you what to buy.
It's because the nerd in Best Buy is not a nerd. He has no idea what he's talking about in most cases.
Yeah. Halo Collector says they gamble on delivery, cheaper to replace than to try to prevent. It really seems that way, man. Like, it seems that, like, they would rather gamble on the item arriving broken than to securely package it and waste the money on packaging materials. Because if they send out $200 worth of packaging materials and a 150 monitor gets broken, like if you send out 50 packages, costs you $150 in packaging materials, you send out these monitors and one gets broken for $150, you still profited $50, even though you had to replace a monitor, you know? It seems that's what they're actually trying to do. I think I know how to package a package.
I don't know that we should be talking about packages anyway. Then we get back to the whole South Park thing and microwaves.
Oh, God. No, we're going to stay away from that. So yeah. Thank you guys for showing up for Mixcast episode 19. I think I said 18 before. This is the 19th.
I can't believe it's 19.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. We're actually about to hit 20, and I only made images for 20 Mixcasts, so I have to go make 20 more. But yeah, so thank you guys for showing up for this. With those were fun topics today. If almost in line with the date, I know. I'm trying to think. We do have the rest of the week for Mixcast. There's nothing changing. I'm I have work news for the upcoming weeks that I'll share soon. The rest of this week will be very busy for me. So yeah, but we should still be on track for reaching all of the Mixcast episodes. For the
don't
remainder of the
be
week.
surprised if we're 15 minutes late. It's gonna happen
for upcoming episodes and stuff. Yeah, especially during the holidays, it might be. What happened yesterday? I discussed that at the beginning of today's Mixcast. One of the heads of the company at Tiny Build announced that it was his last day, so we stayed behind to have some drinks and get prepared for not having him there. So so that's why I ended up missing yesterday. It was a very spur of the moment. It was not announced. There was a lot of partying and a lot of food. So but yeah, if you missed the code, don't forget to go back and listen or watch. All episodes are up on Acast, Podbean, YouTube, and iTunes. Go back, feel free to watch any of those, enter codes in. Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We should be there on time tomorrow.
And keep the topics coming, please.
Yes. Join the Discord. You can join the Discord with the link in the chat right here if you're not already in it. If you're listening to audio, it's discord.gg/BigHungry2X. You can also follow Bad Frog on Twitter by clicking the link in the chat right there. If you're on audio, you can search Bad Frog on Twitter with 2 Ds. Bad, 2 Ds, Frog. And you can search me on Twitter. It's BigHungry2X. I'm BigHungry2X anywhere on the internet. So
don't forget tomorrow is Wednesday, which means Big will be playing
that's true.
games again.
I will be streaming after Mixcast, so feel free to hang out tomorrow after the show. But yeah. Great show tonight. I'm glad you guys got to hang out and help us with those discussions. If you find any more stuff for us to talk about, especially relevant news, please feel free to post it in the Discord. We would love to hear it. And yeah, I hope
I love reading that stuff. So
yeah,
if it's something that's even close to something we're interested in, I'll throw it at Big and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 19. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye, guys.
See ya.